All right, and welcome to this special episode of Real Estate Fight Club. Now, this episode is called What Would You Do? And airs every Wednesday. My special guest with me today is Rachael Real of Rachael Real Real Estate in Chicago. Hey, Rachel.
Morning, Jen. How are you? Happy Monday.
Yay. Happy. Well, technically, this airs on Wednesday.
Right. We're recording on Monday.
It's true. It's true.
Wednesday will probably still feel like Monday, so we'll go with that.
Right, right. Okay, so today, tell us what we're going to be talking about.
So today we're going to talk about Article 3 of the Code of Ethics as it relates to coming soon listings and the difference between an office exclusive and private listings. And then, of course, how you can get yourself in trouble by not following the rules.
Yeah, well, I mean, right. We've already been in trouble with the MLS today.
Right. Well, right now it's a Monday.
It reminds me all the time that I wonder why we pay them to yell at us. It's just,
did you
ever go to that restaurant, Dick's Last Resort?
Yes. They have, what is the one around here? I can't remember what it's called, but it's Edibetics is the one around here.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yes. Where they come and they yell at you and you pay them and tip them nicely to yell at you and be mean to you.
Yeah, see, I never understood those restaurants. I would never go. I was like, that is stupid.
My kids enjoyed it, but they're also boys. They thought it was super fun.
It's awful. I hate it.
It is.
Anyway, that's how I feel about the MLS and MAR.
Today, right? You feel like that today. Well, hopefully we can
most days. Yeah. All right. So what does Article 3 say?
So Article 3 from the Code of Ethics states that realtors shall cooperate with other brokers except when cooperation is not in the client's best interest. The obligation to cooperate does not include the obligation to share commissions, fees, or to otherwise compensate another broker. So we're going to talk a little bit about the standard of practice 3-8 and 3-9, which relate to the access and marketing of property.
Okay.
So 3-8 says realtors shall not misrepresent the availability of access to show or inspect a listed property. And 3-9 is realtors shall not provide access to listed property on terms other than those established by the owner or listing broker. So coming soons can kind of, toe the line between the Article 3 and then I can't remember the article number it is, but talks about misrepresentation as far as advertising goes.
Right.
So depending on what you're doing and where your violation sits, it could be one of those two. But I would say for the most part, it's going to be in Article 3.
Okay. I think I want to remind everybody too, if they want your write-up on this, it can be found at jennifermertland.com/vault. But I think coming soon, do you know how that started? Because not all areas had it.
It started in the form you're going to put in the vault there that we're going to talk about. There's a link on there to a white paper that was authored by Midwest Real Estate Data, which is the MLS we're in my market here. And it's titled Private, not a Secret, an Inside Look at Off MLS Listing Solutions. Mm-hmm. So NAR's policy on coming soon was taken from Midwest Real Estate Data and the Main Street Organization of Realtors, which started this several years ago. So they were kind of like the format that NAR chose to kind of look at and make their policy based on. Mm-hmm. So it started because it started as a result of too many people using this coming soon thing and it being kind of the wild, wild west. So then NAR and the MLSs got together and said, okay, we need to kind of make some rules around this so that people aren't. But
it didn't work.
It did to a certain extent. It just kind of put some framework around it a little bit, although I struggle with it myself, just for the fact that there's so many rules. There's rules around it and they make sense, but not enough agents take the time to learn the rules and then proceed to misuse it and fall back on other things in a way that where they're not providing access to a property.
Right, because the original proposal was to have the coming soon, and it was within 14 days or something like that. It had to be given access to everyone, but prior to that, it was given access to no one.
Right. It was kind of a hot mess. So they kind of said, okay, hey, we need to make some rules and some format around this here, or some framework around it, so that there's not so much confusion around how it actually works. Yet there still is ridiculous amounts of confusion around how it works.
I remember
when I kind of clear that up a little bit today.
I remember I was like at a Mike Ferry event or whatever, and for those, like this was years ago. This is before we had coming soon in our MLS. And one of
Yeah.
the agents was talking about coming soon. I was like, oh my God, that's a terrific idea. So I ordered all of these riders that said coming soon, and I put them on like all on the listings that were coming soon, right?
Right.
And I loved it.
It's great when it's used correctly, but I'm kind of I'm on the consumer end of a situation where an agent wasn't using it correctly,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
and it kind of turned into a mess, and
yeah.
therefore lost out on a property that I had on my radar. So there needs to be some kind of guidelines around it, just even if it's just for the fact that the consumer, when they see a sign on a property, we don't want to look like a bunch of jerks that don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So when there's a sign up on a property that says with a coming soon rider, and one of our clients drives by it and calls us and says, "Hey, I just saw this house. What can you tell me about it?" And we look it up and can't find it anywhere.
Right. That's annoying.
Right. My response is, "Okay, can you send me a picture of the sign?" "Oh, well, I already left. I don't know. What company was it? What brokerage? I don't know." Now I've got to get in my car and go drive over there to find it,
Right.
when this really should just be accessible to us as agents.
Yeah, but I think under like different rules, right? So like,
It is under different rules. Right. We'll kind of talk about where those rules fall. And in this white
okay.
paper that's linked on this document too, it talks about different MLSs through the country and how they've
Mhm.
handled coming soon and private network stuff. So
Mhm.
it's authored by Midwest Real Estate Data, which is the MLS that services Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. So
Okay.
that's 45 some odd thousand members.
Wow.
But they did look at all of these other different MLSs and how they are working with it under the framework of NAR.
Okay. So now I think they've moved to more like an exclusive, like for the office, right?
Well, it's two very different things.
Okay.
So you have an office exclusive and you have the private listing network. So an office exclusive is I'm at
And this is
ABC
replacing
Realty.
the coming soon.
No, these are just two different things that people tend to get confused and
Okay.
don't know how to work within the framework of each one.
Okay.
So an office exclusive is I'm at ABC Realty. That's my brokerage. I have a brokerage of say 10 people.
Okay.
ABC Realty lists 123 Main Street. If we are taking that as an office exclusive, that means it goes nowhere. It doesn't go in the MLS. It's not marketed as a coming soon. It doesn't go into a private network. It goes in my pocket.
Okay.
Literally, that's all it works.
It's
That's
a
the only
pocket
place it goes.
listing.
It's another word for a pocket listing, right?
Okay.
So when you have an office exclusive is one that's never shared outside of the listing brokerage.
Okay.
It's not put on the MLS. It's not put in the standard market or the private network. And it's generally utilized when a seller has privacy concerns. So if you have a famous person, celebrity that wants to sell their home, they're listing it with their brokerage, and only their brokerage is the small group of people that knows that property is for sale.
And you're not even allowed to market it.
You're not even allowed to market it outside of your 10 people. So in my example, ABC Realty is 10 people. You can market it to your 10 people, and
Okay.
that's it.
But
Goes
not the
nowhere else.
public.
Not the public. It goes nowhere.
Got it. Okay.
Once a property is placed into the private network or the standard MLS, either one, it's no longer an office exclusive. So once you breach that line of now I'm telling people about it, anyone
you have to
outside of my little
cooperate.
brokerage, you're now obligated to cooperate. You are now saying it's no longer an office exclusive. So that definition changes.
So
So
then in
anytime
an
you-
office exclusive, if an agent from another brokerage learns about it somehow, what happens?
They shouldn't be learning about it at all.
Because they do, because things happen. Maybe the seller told their friend who told their agent.
I suppose that's possible, but in a scenario where you're using a true office exclusive, it's for privacy concerns. So really that seller isn't going to be telling, they don't want anyone to know. So they're not going to be the one telling anybody about it. So
Okay.
really it's going to come back to the agent, which then you're going to get yourself in a pickle.
Okay.
Because your documentation states that this is an office exclusive only, and that's it.
Okay.
So anytime you market the property outside of your brokerage, and outside of your brokerage can be Facebook, it can be a coming soon sign with a sign with a rider on it. It can be even a private Facebook group within your community of realtors from other brokerages. So
Okay.
now you're going outside of your 10 people. As soon as you do that, you now have to be either in the MLS, like the full-fledged MLS, or the private network. And it has to be at least in the private net, at a minimum, at least in the private network 24 hours, within 24 hours of your marketing efforts.
What's the private network?
So our private network, and this has kind of changed a little bit. It's morphed a little bit over the course of the last couple of years. It's a very minimal database that address, bedrooms, bathrooms. It can be a price range. So if you're using it to test the market for pricing, you can say it's going to be between 3 and 350. And at least people will kind of know the target area where you're looking at. It's great for, I've got a property coming up in Batavia. So it's a western suburb of Chicago. The
That's
seller is
funny.
going
In
to be
Cincinnati, Batavia was the eastern suburb.
Excellent. So these people are going to be doing, their tenants are moving out. They're going to be doing a whole lot of painting, carpeting, new flooring, all kinds of stuff. I want to get the paperwork done so that I can start working on it on my end, but we're not putting it anywhere. So it's in the private network. And essentially what it does is, to me, when I'm putting it in the private network and marking it as no showings, don't share it with your clients, because those are 2 fields that have to be completed. I'm essentially saying, hey, I have the listing, but that's it. So no one
That
else can
sounds
go
dumb, Rachel.
It is a little bit on that respect, yes. But I can then allow a sign to go up. I can say, hey, this is coming. I can begin to market it. I just can't let anyone in the front door until we're done with all those improvements, which is, in this case, is better than letting them in now, because it wouldn't show well at all right now.
Is there a time frame that you're allowed to be doing that?
You can be on the private network as long as you want here. So if it's the duration of the listing, so be it. The only difference between the private network and the standard network in my market is that the listings on the private network are not syndicated to the third-party websites. So it doesn't go to Zillow, it doesn't go to Redfin, it doesn't go to any of those websites.
Okay, or potentially to the buyers that are working directly with agents.
It does go to them. As long as the listing, right, in our private network,
that you can,
it's checked that you can share it, then
but they can't
you're
get
able
in.
to filter that. They just can't get in. Now you can mark those 2 questions. There's the 2 questions are, can you share it with clients? Yes or no. That means, can I talk about it? Can I share it with them? Can I share them the information? Can we talk about it? Can I let them know it's here? Yes or no. And then, is it available to show? So I can say, yes, go ahead and market it, or go ahead and talk to people about it. I just can't get you in there yet.
I can understand, like, so the things that we learned about like the coming soon stuff, it's just, it is still like the Wild West, like people are insane, right? So like the pocket listing makes sense.
Do you see a lot of pocket listings by you though?
I mean,
like true actual, based on the definition of what a pocket listing is, like a true pocket listing.
It more comes with like, it's usually not like paperwork necessarily until there's a buyer. And it usually comes more with if you're looking for a buyer and you find an off-market property, but not like in the true definition.
So that would be more of an unrepresented seller. Say, for instance, here's a FSBO that you know about, you're aware of it.
Except sometimes they become represented when there's.
Right, if you're representing a buyer, you know about this for sale by owner over here that's hanging out. 2 weeks later, you start working with a buyer and you go, hey, I know we've exhausted the MLS, but there is this for sale by owner. Let's go look at it. Then here we have a form that's unrepresented seller in the compensation agreement. So they don't become listed. We just say, you're unrepresented. I'm representing the buyer. Would you let us show your property?
Right.
And then those can get entered in the MLS post closing as a comparable for data purposes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So that would be different than an office exclusive. We don't really see true office exclusives here. I don't see a whole lot of them at all.
Based in Cincinnati, like my understanding of the rules is we are allowed to put stuff out to our office only, but they can't see it if not everybody else can see it, which makes sense. Right? It should either be kind of like everybody.
It should be all or nothing. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So, and that might be a company or brokerage policy too, that if you have an office exclusive, either everybody's looking at it or nobody's looking at it, just for the mere fact that it might avoid some problems down the road.
Right. I can see where all of this can get really sticky though, right? And that's like the problem.
Yes. There isn't enough training, in my opinion. There's not enough training for agents for them to really truly understand the difference of what this is. I mean, that's why we're kind of breaking it down
to like something bigger. Like there's not.
Oh, it's sure. Don't even start with me on that. Just you. It's really a very simple concept. You just have to look at it and understand it.
Right. So
Yeah,
what are we, so the problem is that the issue is like office exclusives versus private listings and as it relates to like coming soon property too.
exactly. So if you are an office exclusive, there should be no sign. There should be nobody should really know about it driving down the street.
Mhm.
Something in the
Or looking
private
on your
network.
Facebook page.
Right, right. There really should be no one should know about that. Something in the private network, the general public, anybody can know about, even through the MLS now that, and that was a change that was recently made to our MLS. Originally, we had to cut and paste, do a screenshot of what we found in the private network, put that into an email and send that to a client. They've
Mhm.
now made an upgrade to the MLS to say, hey, now as long as it's marked, can I share this with clients? That yes, you can now put that into their portal so they can see it that way. But that was a very recent change.
It seems like a lot of rules. I don't know. I think I need to
It
take a
it
break.
is, it is. I don't even like the coming soon. The only reason I like the coming soon is just for the fact of the property that I'm putting up, in the next couple of weeks. Our market's crazy. If
Yeah.
somebody's got somebody looking, they've exhausted everything. Hey, I've got this, but it's going to be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I
Like that.
can't share anything though. But it's at that point I can't share anything. So
No, that's dumb. I don't think that's, I think it depends on the market. I think there's a place for coming soon in a market like we have now where there's more buyers than homes. I
yeah,
think putting it in like the afternoon or evening before and then making it available the next day
right.
makes sense. I mean, that's
Sure.
not technically coming soon, I don't think, because it's ending
No,
like within 24 hours. But like that
right.
feels to me like that makes more sense for all parties involved than putting it up at random times during the day. And can we all agree to stop entering listings on Friday and Saturday
Please.
and
Amen.
Sunday?
Yeah, no, I no,
After
please,
4,
please not.
like it really should be like
Right.
before noon during the week.
I almost wish there was a cutoff, like don't
Right,
allow new listings to be entered after Friday at noon.
right, or whatever it is.
Because God forbid, you've spent the entire Friday after Friday morning coordinating your entire schedule for the weekend, only to have 3 or 4 properties come up. That your clients have to see right now, because in this market you have to go right now,
Right, right.
or you now have to rearrange your entire
Well,
tour.
when I run for czar of president, czar of,
Right.
I think feel like is what's the difference between a czar and a dictator? I'm not sure which
I
one.
right.
But like
Whatever it is.
the czar of real estate of the world, I will make that rule. Okay.
I mean, I'm looking at it going, it's not going to disservice the client in any way, shape, or form.
No.
It's not going to. And it would make everything a whole lot
Well, the only thing
more
it
simpler.
would hurt is like if there are certain clients that are not available like during the week, that they are only available on the weekends, you know?
Right. And that's been a conversation because of the tight market that we're in here too. And, when you look at it, it's not an ethics violation. There's no violation. If your client can't be available, then they're not available.
Right.
They can do a video, you can do a FaceTime walkthrough, you can go on your lunch hour, you can go at nighttime. You know
Well,
what
they
I mean?
go to
Like
the
there's
doctor, and they do other
right.
things, they catch flights. I mean, I
Right, because doctors aren't available on a Sunday morning, so they make time
usually
for them to
before
go
you go
during
to
the week.
urgent care,
Right,
so like maybe
right.
it's like, okay, well, the realtors aren't there, but you can go look at the Zillow listings.
You can do a FaceTime tour. I'll go video it for you and send it to you.
Yeah.
Tell me that there's a reason for us too. I mean, part of our value to the client is to be able to say, hey, I know you can't get out today, but this is a great house. I'm going to go look at it for you and tell you if I think you need to get your butt over here.
Right. That's true too. I don't know. I think
That's
that's
part of what we're doing.
a podcast. But let's let's take a quick break and I want to tell you a little bit about the sponsors that we have. So there's 2 sponsors that I want to highlight, and they're like really partners in our business that we do. So one is Vulcan 7, which is what I use to get numbers for when I cold call, and circle prospect. And then there's the other one, which is Monica's Ghost Poster, which I also use for, hold on. For doing like Facebook posts. So Ghost Poster will send a post every day that you can just put on your Facebook. It's a great way if you're not good with your social media yet. It's a great way to build your business that way. So for Vulcan 7, if you're interested in the numbers, you just go to vulcan7.com/Jennifer Mertland to get 2 weeks for $49. And if you're interested in Ghost Poster, you go to mycoachmonica.com and then use promo code Fight Club for $50 off. So,
Excellent.
all right, Rachel, tell us, I think you were going to tell us now, like how not to get in trouble, right?
Right. Yes. So let's talk a
I
little.
don't care about
Right.
getting in trouble. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you don't. Let's be real. You don't care. No.
I care. I
So
just think it's dumb.
right. So NAR's proposed wealth, and which is now their actual policy on the coming soon, format and structure, is that within 1 business day of marketing a property to the public, the
Mhm.
listing broker must submit the listing to the MLS for cooperation with other MLS participants.
Okay.
And I mean, if you break this down sentence by sentence, there isn't any reason that someone with a real estate license can't follow this. It's quite simple. Within one business day of marketing a property, it must be submitted to the listing. The listing
I mean,
must be
it
submitted to the
seems
MLS for
it seems
cooperation.
reasonable. And I think what they're trying to
It's very
prevent
reasonable.
here is maybe not prevent, but what they're trying to do is open up the market and allow.
It's clear cooperation, right? It's clear cooperation and helping us not to look like idiots when our clients drive by a property that, if there's a sign in the yard,
We
why
don't
should
need
we not
help
know
looking
about it?
like idiots.
Right. Well, that's another story. So public marketing as defined by NAR includes, but is not limited to, flyers displayed in a window,
Mhm.
yard signs, digital marketing on public facing websites, brokerage website displays, including IDX and BOW, digital communication marketing, such as email blasts, multi-brokerage listing sharing networks, which would be kind of like your Facebook group for your region or whatever,
Mhm.
and applications available to the general public.
I mean, what
So
about your
really,
newsletter that goes out to like your past clients?
that would be public marketing, anything facing the public.
Oh my God.
So as soon as you go outside of your little cluster of 10 people at ABC Realty, you are now public marketing.
Excellent. Okay.
Yes, but yes, this link in there too, the white paper authored by Midwest Real Estate Data, it does a really good job of breaking it down, talking about what the problems were that initiated needing the private network and the
Mhm.
whole coming soon thing, and then how do other MLSs, or how are they handling it too, and then
Cool.
how it relates to NAR.
Good. So
It's a great resource.
yeah, it is. It's a good one. So we'd love to hear from you and hear what your experiences were and what your ideas are. You can go to the Real Estate Fight Club podcast Facebook page and let us know. And Rachel, if somebody has a referral for you in Chicago or they have a question, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way to reach me is by cell phone at 630-542-8688, 630-542-8688.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being on as usual. Thank you so much.
You got it.